Hey guys, it's Portly. If you remember in my XFit earbuds video how I messed up the audio, well, this video was recorded right after that and I did the same thing. So enjoy the audio in this one. Again, I did my best to fix it. Thank you for your patience and understanding in these trying times. Hey, so if you haven't seen it, this is technically part 2 of a 2-part video. A few weeks ago, I unboxed this big ol' hefty bad boy, which is the Ticwris Max watch. What's it called again? It's been a little while since I did the unboxing, and I've just been testing this thing out. I've kind of already forgotten the name. My iPhone Bluetooth says it's the Max. And Max this thing is. Maximum size, maximum bigness. This thing is so big that my arm actually got tired going from one end of the screen to the other. I can take this thing off and put it outside to shelter myself from the rain. I'm glad I have this and a smartphone because I can use it to call myself from the other side of this watch. It's a big watch is what I'm saying. Alright, now jokes aside, this Ticwris Max smartwatch is unlike any smartwatch I have ever seen. My main experience and exposure to using smartwatches is the Apple Watch. I did briefly kind of test out a Samsung watch a couple years back. My wife owned one for like a couple days before she was like, this is no Apple Watch. I have seen the gist of what a smartwatch is. You get text notifications, you can check them on your wrist instead of pulling out your phone. You can look at the time. You can use it to track your fitness, your steps, your heart rate, your calories that you've burned for the day. I get all that, and that's great for smartwatches. Are they worth the price? Maybe not all of them. I do like my Apple Watch, but it is an older Apple Watch that I paid very little for because to me, it's not worth all that much. Some of these things are like almost the price of you could buy an iPhone SE 2020 for the price of certain newer Apple Watches. That is insane. And yet this thing comes in at about $170, $180, $200. It kind of varies right now on Banggood.com, which, by the way, Banggood sent this to me in case you didn't see the unboxing. Banggood did send this to me for the unboxing and review to tell you guys all about it. Now, when I say that this is a smartwatch unlike any other, it really is. It's not just big for the sake of being big. This thing is essentially a small Android phone on your wrist. In my time testing it, I would say that it felt more like a smartphone replacement than a smartphone companion like most smartwatches would be. This thing has full access to the Google Play Store. You can download Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. For some reason, it has like its own separate app store that is on there, which is really just 4 apps that are kind of already ready to go that you can download. I was able to browse Twitter, I could browse the internet, I can watch YouTube videos. The screen is a 2.86 screen that has 480 by 640 resolution, so it's not HD, or it's like old school low HD. It's like 480p basically. But watching videos on YouTube on this thing doesn't look bad at all. You can't really tell that it's like a low resolution because it's a resolution made for this screen size. It looks actually kind of really clear and impressive for watching YouTube on a watch. Now, it does run Android 7.1.1, which is kind of surprising to me. I was expecting this to run an older version of Android. Now, to use it with your smartphone, you do need an Android 5.1 or newer Android phone, or an iPhone that runs iOS 9 and above. Now, I did mention web browsing. It doesn't do it well. Sometimes it would take forever to load. And I don't know if it's necessarily anything to do with the processing power of the watch itself. I took a side-by-side internet speed test on the watch browser while also doing it on the browser on my iPhone, and the differences were astounding. This thing was probably getting close to about 30 down, where my iPhone was getting like 130 down. I don't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but you'll see them here on the screen. And it was quite a gap on the same network. I guess that might have to do with maybe the antenna or something. So I don't know if the web browser being slow on this was a processing thing or a web thing. It was able to play YouTube just fine without any loading or buffering. Twitter and Facebook loaded just fine, and this thing is even able to play games. Like, you can straight up download Android mobile games onto this watch and it'll play them. How well it will play them for a screen this small, I don't really know, but you can play games on this watch, which is like crazy. Hey, you want to download a game onto your Google Play? Just do that. You can Clash your Clans and you can Angry Your Birds all you want to on your wrist. I say this feels more like a phone replacement versus a phone companion for a couple of reasons. I don't know if this was a compatibility issue because I use an iPhone and not an Android phone, but you are in theory supposed to be able to connect this to your phone and receive text messages and phone calls. I'm not sure how the phone call thing was supposed to work. I did connect this to my Apple Watch and I got a text message alert maybe like once, and it was like 10 or 15 minutes after I had already gotten the text on my phone. It definitely was not a one-to-one thing like using an Apple Watch. Some fluke allowed me to get a text notification once and never again. I didn't do anything different. It worked once and that was it. In theory, you could get a SIM card and put it in this thing to make phone calls and text people and whatnot. I wouldn't exactly recommend it. It has speakers, but not really intended to be used as a phone on its own. You are going to want to pair this, at least via Bluetooth, to a Bluetooth headset in order to make those phone calls. The lock screen is pretty cool. It turns out that Windows 8 screen that I had shown you before was a watch face. There are animated lock screens, by the way. That's pretty cool. There's a little animated fireplace. It has an 8 megapixel front-facing camera. It's only a front-facing camera, which you can use for selfies like this, or you're like this awkwardly, or just be like, hey, let's take a picture together. Smile. Obviously, you can take this thing off to take pictures, but if you really want to use this thing to take pictures, I don't know. It's there if you want it. But one of the main reasons, the main focus, I guess, that they're sort of pushing with this phone is the face unlock. So that camera is going to be used mainly, like primarily, to unlock the screen. It makes you set up a swipe pattern just in case, but once you have that set, you can then have it capture your face. So all you have to do is turn on the screen, swipe, look at it, and it will just take a second to unlock. Now, it's not as snappy as like flagship phones that use face unlock. We've gotten to a point where face unlock has gotten pretty quick. This is slower than a lot of smartphones these days that have face unlock. It just takes like an extra second. You could just use it as a fitness tracker on top of some of the other functions because it does track your steps and your heart rate. I have tried like $30, $40 budget Amazon smartwatches that are fitness trackers, and those did not work very well, I'll tell you that much. This works way better than those and actually tracks your steps. Battery life, I wish I had like measured and paid attention, but I will say I've left this thing on without really using it for like a few days now, and it's at 51%, and it charges fairly quickly. The cable is short, sure, and it doesn't come with a power brick. You have to either plug it into one that you have or plug it into your computer, but after that, you just connect it to the watch and it charges. So do I recommend this? It depends. It's a niche product, I'm not gonna lie. It's not something that every person out there is gonna be like, wow, I have to have this thing. If anything, you can check it out for the novelty of it. The fact that you have a watch that you can take with you and play like probably, I don't know, like PUBG Mobile on this thing if you wanted to. It's definitely an interesting novelty concept. But again, this thing is just so huge. If you want to buy this thing and make it like your daily driver or like a backup phone that you can use, you could do that in theory, yeah. The actual interface, the actual UI is a little slow, a little laggy, a little bit sluggish. But once you actually get into the apps, aside from the weird, slow, sluggish problem I had with the built-in web browser, everything works pretty smooth and pretty fun. So if this seems like something that is interesting to you, I do have an affiliate link in the description. If you purchase through that link, it helps fund the channel a little bit and is much appreciated, as are you, my friends. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like, maybe consider subscribing if you're new, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this watch. Is it something that you could see yourself picking up, or is it something you want to stay far, far away from? I would really like to know. If you like this video, you can check out this one right here and this one right there, and you just watch them and keep on trucking. This watch is extremely big.